This is The Rumor Report with Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club.
So listen up.
Well, Baller Alert posted T.I. getting into exchange while he was performing during an open mic comedy night at our bar, Atlanta. Now, there was a comedian, Lauren. She was on the stage while this was all happening. And first, here's T.I. going in on Lauren while she's on stage.
There is nothing to charge me for. Or my wife. No, shut the fuck for a second. Hey, listen. No. As many times as you joke on that shit, I'm gonna check your mother as long as it takes. Ain't no motherfucking case. Ain't never been no motherfucking case. Cause I ain't did nothing wrong and my wife ain't did nothing wrong. And if you keep on playing with me, nigga, I'm gonna continue to confront you publicly, verbally.
So Lauren Knight, we don't know what happened. There's no video footage of what happened prior to him getting up and heckling her and saying these things to her while she was on stage. But here is Lauren Knight's explanation of what happened before the camera started rolling.
T.I. came to the show. It's about over anyway. It's an open mic. He comes. He does like 30 minutes. Now, after he gets off stage, I'm going to the next. I'm hosting. I'm talking about marriage. He keeps cutting me off, telling me to shut the f up, calling me all kind of heckling me. He then starts yelling about how I need to take my wig off multiple times. I said, I'll take my wig off when you speak on the allegations. Nobody was tight except for him. Nobody ever called him a rapist. I responded to him telling me in a room full of people to rip my wig off and made a joke just like he did. So if you got a problem with it, not mine.
Now here's what Lauren Knight has to also say about nothing being off limits and what happened that night.
I stand on what I said. If you're a comedian, anything's up for jokes. Talk about me all day. And I've been laughing at some of it. Nothing's off limits. Nobody's special. And please don't walk up on me again. I'm mad dangerous. This is not rap beef. I am not Lil Flip. I ain't got no problem with T.I.
All right, well, T.I. went and did a live from his home, and here's what he had to say about Lauren Knight and responding about what her joke was.
She went up, got on stage, and was talking about some shit about allegations then. You hear me? And I ain't say nothing to her, but some people who did say something to her, like, you know, they were just on some bird. Why you tripping? Like, what? Like, why is you saying like that, bruh? Like, for one, bruh, all that allegation shit, I ain't never raped nobody, I ain't never did none of that shit, nigga. I ain't that kind of nigga, bruh. Mind you, it's a whole confession from a politician. Felicia Moore has confessed to the whole plot of all this.
In addition, he also had something to say about Lauren Knight saying that he called her a bitch.
You see where the shit got twisted? Never called you out your name, never called you a bitch. You give me a video where I called you a bitch, I give you $1 million. Where I call you a bitch at? Where did I call you a bitch?
I don't know if that was him.
Listen, context is important. I mean, yes, folks should be able to take a joke, but also you can't tell people how to react to your joke. We've been telling y'all that all week, all right? Everyone not going to have smoke for your jokes, but some will. But context is important. No man wants to be labeled a rapist.
Well,
okay?
She said allegations. She didn't say.
Even still.
I see both sides, right? Because you are a comedian, you're in that comedian realm, and you know you're supposed to take jokes, but some jokes are not funny.
Man, nobody wants to be labeled a rapist, alleged rapist, whatever it is.
Because if that, I don't want you to talk about that if it's not true, and you talk about my wife and me and my family, I'll get upset.
That's one of the worst things you can put on a man.
It's kind of like Snaps, though, because he said something to her, like, take your wig off, and then she's like, okay, speak on the allegations. And if you want me to take my wig off. So she didn't say you're a rapist.
But that's like I go at you and then you go, your mama. Now it's up to me to decide what goes next.
If my mama dead.
If my mama dead,
then we might have a problem.
It might be something past that.
I'm just saying, listen, I agree, all's fair, and you know, love and verbal war.
But now people know your weak spot, too, because you're going to be on these stages.
Well, I think people knew that regardless. Yeah. That's why she went there.
And he is right about that politician saying that, and I don't know why that wasn't more of a discussion. But, listen.
I didn't hear that. What happened?
Well, the part where the politician was like, you know, T.I. should have learned this lesson, you know, about interfering in politics before. That's
basically
when we
saying
put those allegations
politician
on
said
Yeah. But you know what else could be interesting about that?
What's that?
Play with T.I. if y'all want to. Like all comedians take your chances. That's all I'm telling all comedians.
He calmed himself down.
Everybody take their chances, and not just with T.I.
I know he calmed himself
with
down.
anybody.
I'm proud of him for that because he was like, if you keep on,
Listen, man,
I'm going to.
I love comedians, and I
Then he
respect
caught
freedom
himself.
of
He
speech.
said, I'm going to speak with you verbally.
I love comedians, and I respect freedom of speech, but you cannot tell people how to react to your jokes. And if people gonna start having smoke for your jokes, then hey man, y'all just gonna have to defend them jokes and defend yourself.
Well, Laura Knight posted, listen, you can't be a heckler and get mad when you get a response. I stand on what I said. I love comedy. And then she said, make sure you got the whole story before you believe just anything. Make sure you're at our bar Atlanta every Monday night, though.
Oh, she stood her ground.
She did.
Yeah, absolutely. What's her name?
Lauren Knight.
Drop on the clues bomb from Lauren Knight. She stood her ground as a comic and as just a human.
It's a person, not a question.
And,
do a comedy show.
We don't have time.
And somebody runs up on stage. Shouldn't security make sure that person don't run up on stage?
Well,
Yes.
He didn't run on stage. He was in front of the stage.
No, he ran on stage. He got on
He
stage.
was on stage.
Oh, I thought he was in
No,
front
he
of
was
the
on stage.
stage.
He got on stage.
And he hugged her and everything.
And then took the mic.
I don't think she would let a regular person hug her. If that wasn't T.I., I don't think she would have let. I think she knows T.I. not going to do that. You're not going to let nobody
And he
else
also
invade your space like that.
He was also maybe performing earlier. I don't. Yeah, she said he performed for
They
30
need
minutes.
better security at these events.
This is getting interesting. These comedy shows about to be great. I can't wait.
Comedy-
I loved comedy
Yeesh.
shows before, but man, we getting some real action at these shows nowadays. Between
All
the
right, well, that
Oscars.
is your rumor reports.
Like, this is good.
Wow, all right.
Jay-Z even had a little smoke for a comedian on the Pusha T record, but you got to catch it.
Oh, we're going to get into that next. But who you giving that donkey to before we get into that record?
Man, 4 after the hour, even though celebrity stuff is good, there are some really important things going on in the world, and I need Tennessee lawmakers and lawmakers in Oklahoma to come to the front of the congregation. We need to have a word with them, okay? We need to be paying attention. Look alive, people.
All right, we'll get to that in 3 minutes. Here's Hove, Pusha T,
And he had
Pharrell.
Hov had some smoke for a comedian. Just pay attention.
That's
Just listen.
right. It's Neck and Wrist is the Breakfast Club. Good morning.